Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Schrader. I'm going to give you a break, Dr. Glauber, from corn for a few minutes. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, USDA has done some research about consumer demand for local meat and poultry, which has shown that it's a pretty hot item for consumers. And even in Connecticut, we're experiencing that and hearing all about it, and it's, I think, a pretty exciting development, particularly for farmers all across, small farms all across the country. The biggest sort of challenge that I hear a lot about, and I'm sure I'm not alone, is the challenge of trying to process livestock in places that aren't part of the big sort of supply chain of large meat producers. And again, given the fact that USDA has sort of confirmed this trend in terms of consumers, I was wondering if you could talk about whether or not USDA has some ideas and prescriptions about trying to really take advantage of this really, I think, pretty exciting opportunity.
Right, Congressman, and you're absolutely right. If you look at meat processing, it's a low margin business, and the successful ones, you need a lot of throughput. But you weigh that against what's been going on generally across the country in terms of increased demand for local foods, those sorts of things. You clearly have a lot of people interested in that. Now, the problem with a local processor is, they have to deal with all the same issues everyone else does. They have to deal with the same regulations, food safety regulations. FSIS, I think, they have now a website, or a special place on their website oriented towards small and very small processors to go through all the regulations to make sure that everyone's aware of that. That alone is actually a fairly big cost of just knowing what you got to do. They have some local food outreach efforts underway. And, I would say that's true for producers as well. I mean, you look at getting certification for grass-fed. If you're a small herd, under 50 head, those are costly processes. And AMS has been putting forward a lot of effort to try to make those more accessible. They're on the verge of announcement of a small and very small producer program that would certify for those sorts of things. So how to address these niche markets and make it so that they can do a better job in a less costly way, I think, particularly for kind of getting through the morass of regulations and all of that, to understand that better and to know kind of how to do it. I think at least FSIS seems like they have a pretty strong outreach effort that underway right now.
The cooperative interstate shipment program also seems to be a way of trying to aggregate, resources so that,
yes,
in a place like New England, for example,
right,
that, a collection of small livestock producers could, have a proximate facility to go to. Again, it seems like that's a program that USDA can also help kind of, promote aggressively.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you mentioned Economic Research Service just last summer, put out an excellent report on local foods and local processors that I'll get you a copy. It is very good. They have a lot of case studies about how a lot of these businesses face all these additional costs, but then found ways through it and are seemingly thriving right now.